place in democracy if there's supposed to be a separation of church and state?
I remember George Marsden. We both had the same graduate advisor some years apart. He would always say, yes, there's a separation between church and state, but there's never been a separation between faith and democracy. I think that that's actually, the institutional separation of church and state is a different thing than thinking that faith and politics in particular have nothing to say to one another, or that it's somehow against the law for people of faith to talk about politics in public places. That's not true.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's not just bringing your faith kind of into your role as a citizen and as one voice of many, although it is that. But I would also say that our constitutional protections are absolutely essential to protecting religious liberty, to protecting your right to believe and to practice your belief. And so often in this Christian nationalist framework, it's depicted that Christianity, by which they mean a very narrow and perhaps twisted version of Christianity, is under siege. And if you are critical in any way of this ideology and the broader agenda, then you are anti-Christian, right? Well, other Christians would beg to disagree. And therefore, these other Christians are often the real threat because they're a threat to this narrative that if you're against us, you're against Christianity, you're against God, right? And so if you actually look at who are the targets of Christian nationalists, more often than not, it's their fellow Christians who are saying, no, I am a believer. Yep. And I am going to stand and put myself between you and more vulnerable populations. Or, no, I will not allow you to take this faith and say this is what it demands, because for me, my Christian faith demands something else entirely, right? So understanding that narrative and remembering that, not accepting the dominant narrative that they're trying to enforce, but always and intentionally disrupting it. And you're doing it to protect authentic religious faith, Christian or otherwise, and to protect people of no particular faith, to push back against this coercion.